Hello everyone, my name is Gus.
Hi, I'm Woody.
Today we have a video where somebody went ice diving, I guess. I haven't seen this one. You haven't seen this one. It's a blind reaction from a request that we got. So we're going to do it for the first time. Let's see what happens.
Cool.
Green Lake, Wisconsin, New Year's Day.
Sounds freezing.
Bald eagles out on the ice. Balmy 33 degrees. Carlos and I are going to do a little ice dive.
Ew.
Well, a little different way to ice dive. Traditionally, you use guys on a surface holding lines that are tethered to you. We decided to do this cave style, so we just carried our own reels, tied them off to an anchor, and went out.
So, triangle is
Very
the
easy entry.
standard.
We're in about 30 inches of water. We're on top of a boat landing, concrete slab. So we carried our gear out there and got dressed.
I think you meant 30 inches of ice.
But wait. Did he say he's going to tie a line to a boat anchor that can actually move when you pull it? Or is he going to affix the boat to the bottom? I guess we keep watching it.
Well, I mean, I took an ice diving class.
Yeah.
That means I'm not an expert. I've taken one ice diving class.
You're certified to ice dive.
Which means I would want to do it with somebody that knows what they're doing. But
yeah,
basically, as I understand it, you do cut a triangle like that. And then you want to have actually two lines. So two ropes. It's ropes. One is always up to the tender. So you always leave a tender at the top. So this person does not go in and they're tending that rope, which one is floating at the top from like floats, so that if you lost your buddy or lost the line, you could go up to the top and find that rope to get back out of the exit. Yeah. And the other, you're tied to your buddy, as I remember it. Don't kill me, everybody. So that you and your buddy are together on a rope.
Right.
And you have signals with the rope. Like if I pull twice or really fast, get me out. You know, there are signals like that. And you learn all that in the class. So I'm not sure what
Let's see what they're doing.
For equipment, I'm using two KISS Sidekick rebreathers, one on each side.
Cool. What?
And Carlos is using side mount open circuit. And I think he has 100 high pressure tanks. He also uses a KISS rebreather, but opted out of it today. Carlos prefers to do his final tank hookup when he's in the water. Makes the tanks a little lighter.
They're just laying line, just like
so that's what he's doing.
a cave line. We didn't do this. We really did have rope.
Okay.
But I presume
slightly tighter than I expected. When you got past the boat landing, the bottom of the lake came back up near the ice. I almost thought we were going to have to get back out and cut a new hole, but it worked out.
They look pretty good. Look at that sidekick.
Yeah. Obviously,
down to about 108 feet, and it was time to either hook on another reel. I decided we're going to call it dive, man. My hands were getting cold. Don't really want to be having cold hands, not being able to turn a reel.
That seems pretty smart.
A little bit better streamlining, but other than
water temperature for most of the dive was about 35, 36 degrees.
Terrible.
Pretty cold, but if you have a heater like Carlos has on his torso, it sure helps.
I do, and need.
Getting back toward the entry where we're tied off to the anchor, you can see how tight it actually is. I don't think he did in here with back mount
I
here.
see. That must be the 30 inches he was talking about between the
I don't
bottom.
care who you are, how much experience you have, but it sure is a nice thing to see the end of that line tied to the anchor where you left it.
I don't like that,
This
though.
time of year, I never see fish in this lake, and there are people ice fishing. I don't know how they catch fish because we don't see them. We saw one bluegill.
Like,
Yeah,
okay,
so
so look at that anchor, right?
Yeah,
so
glad you
if they pull this line, you know, because I don't know, they got caught up on something, and while they're trying to release it, they just pull it. This thing would have fell flat in the concrete and then just roll the way down
And think about this.
away from the hole.
What if the ice moves? It's ice. You're not tied back up to the surface with a tender. How do you know that when you get back there, that's where your hole is, your triangle.
Right.
It's not necessary. It's not like land. It's ice. So I don't have enough expertise, but we did not absolutely learn anything about like this. You had to tie up to the surface with a tender.
Right. And that triangle that you push under the ice, like that could have been dislodged. And doesn't that freeze again? Like, and depending on the cold,
it can
could
freeze
be,
again.
Could be really quick, right?
Yep. But it would take a while. I mean, you presumably could chip back out. I'm just more concerned that it's not there. Maybe that was a move. Maybe the whole giant ice floating little island you were on moved or something. But we certainly did not learn this technique. I would have to ask my instructors, which was Josh Thornton. They live in Utah, so they do this all the time. Maybe I can't imagine that this is okay.
45 minutes of diving.
Brought the whole family with him.
Seems like they could have just tied off right up there, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Just as
one
easy.
of those trees, that pole out there.
Yeah.
Also had some video from the surface. Apparently you could see bubbles. They could see us moving under the ice before we even reached the hole, which I thought was kind of cool.
It was freezing already?
Can't really see it in the video.
Well, that's
which is
part
why
of
I
it.
didn't
They
put it in here.
cut. I don't think that big chunk is refrozen. Coming off the side kick.
Bit chilly, man.
Yeah, stuff freezes. The regs freeze up easy. Not underwater, but when you get back up on the surface.
Yeah.
So we were taught take those regulators and put them underwater. Do not bring them back up. Right, because if you bring them back up on the surface,
Dive
like,
was great.
freezes.
Now that we're done and got our gear off, we're putting up a little temporary safety fence, make sure no one walks out onto the ice thinking they can just stand there.
Yeah,
and
and that is right. We roped it off instead because there's snowmobilers and stuff, and you don't want them accidentally going over that. You're supposed to push the triangle back in its little hole.
Here's the dive
Right, so it
profile.
freezes over.
Freezes back over.
I didn't have any deco time. I think Carlos had about 5 minutes being on open circuit. But that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video.
They were on air.
I mean, our commentary is from a novice standpoint.
Right.
I'm not an expert ice diver. I just learned of things that they didn't do, but
Yeah.
I don't know for sure.
They could have done things to increase safety a little bit, of course. I mean, that guy was diving a dual rebreather. They look experienced. So, you know, these were not novice people jumping in the water as well, so they have that going. But I do think that they avoided some potential issues.
Seems like it, but
And
I'm glad.
things worked out.
And I'm glad it did.
But you know what they didn't bring, though? I didn't notice, at least. They didn't bring an axe like our buddy Igor, who used to free diving under ice with an axe and then cutting his way out of the ice on the other side.
That was insane.
Making a new hole. What?
Oh, my goodness.
If you haven't seen that video, I'm going to leave it right here. Total insanity.
Bye, everybody.